3 university students are discussing whether achieving fully sustainable university operations by 2030 is realistic. They share different opinions about the challenges, possible solutions, and the role of students and universities in protecting the environment.
Do you really think our university can become completely sustainable by 2030? I know it's a big goal, but I think it's worth trying. Climate change is becoming a serious issue, so universities should take the lead by setting ambitious environmental targets. Even if eco-friendly projects cost more in the beginning, they can save money over time. The university could also apply for government grants or work with environmental organizations to support these projects. Besides that, we should encourage students to develop greener habits through awareness campaigns and daily activities.
I agree with you. Reaching the 2030 target won't be easy, but it's definitely possible if the university follows a clear plan. Switching to renewable energy, supporting environmental research, and introducing sustainability into the curriculum are all practical steps. Students should also get involved in campus projects because changing people's mindset is just as important as improving buildings or technology.
Both of you have made good points, but we also need to think about the practical side. Renovating old buildings, installing solar panels, and improving campus facilities require a huge amount of money and time. However, many universities have already started reducing paper waste and replacing single-use plastics, which shows that progress is possible. I think real success depends on everyone, including students, teachers, and staff, making small environmentally friendly choices every day.
Exactly. Sustainability isn't only about expensive technology. Even simple actions like recycling, saving electricity, and reducing waste can make a big difference when thousands of students work together.
That's true. If every student contributes a little, the university can achieve significant progress over the next few years. It would also inspire other universities to follow the same path and become more environmentally responsible.
I completely agree. Although achieving full sustainability by 2030 is an ambitious goal, it isn't impossible. With proper planning, continuous investment, and cooperation from the entire university community, I believe we can make it happen. Three university students are discussing whether student organizations should receive a larger share of the university budget. They exchange their opinions about how additional funding could improve campus life, support student development, and whether the university can afford to increase financial support for clubs.
I strongly believe student organizations deserve a larger budget. Campus clubs play an important role in university life because they help students develop leadership, teamwork, and communication skills. Unfortunately, many clubs have very limited funding, which makes it difficult to organize events or even buy basic equipment. Some smaller clubs with great ideas never get the opportunity to grow simply because they don't have enough financial support. I think investing in student organizations is actually an investment in students' overall development.
I completely agree with you. Clubs are not only about entertainment, they also provide valuable learning experiences outside the classroom. For example, Debate clubs improve public speaking, coding clubs develop technical skills, and environmental clubs encourage social responsibility. However, I've noticed that several student organizations have cancelled workshops and competitions because of budget shortages. I think the university should reserve a separate fund for new and innovative clubs so that every organization has a fair chance to succeed instead of giving most of the money to the same clubs every year.
Both of you have raised important points, but we also need to consider the university's financial situation. Universities have many responsibilities, including maintaining classrooms, laboratories, libraries, and other essential facilities. If too much money is allocated to student clubs, it could reduce funding for important academic services. Instead of simply increasing the budget, I believe the university should carefully evaluate which organizations are making the greatest contribution before providing additional financial support.
That's a reasonable concern, but I don't think these two goals have to compete with each other. A moderate increase in funding could make a huge difference without affecting academic departments. The university could also ask clubs to submit detailed proposals explaining how they plan to use the money and what benefits their activities will provide to students. This would make the funding process more transparent and accountable.
I like that idea. The university could introduce a performance-based funding system where active clubs that organize successful events and attract student participation receive additional financial support. At the same time, workshops on budgeting, proposal writing, and financial management could help club leaders use university funds more effectively. This would encourage responsibility while ensuring that every dollar is spent wisely.
After listening to both of you, I think a balanced approach would be the best solution. Student organizations certainly contribute to personal growth, campus culture, and practical learning, so they deserve better support. However, funding should be distributed fairly through a transparent evaluation system that considers each club's performance, student participation, and overall impact. In this way, the university can strengthen campus life while continuing to meet its academic responsibilities.
Three university students are discussing whether university assignments should focus more on solving real-world industry challenges. They share their views on how practical projects can improve learning while also considering the difficulties of implementing such an approach.
I strongly believe university assignments should focus more on real-world industry problems instead of only testing theoretical knowledge. Students often spend a lot of time memorizing concepts, but they don't always know how to apply them in practical situations. For example, business students could work on real marketing campaigns, engineering students could solve technical problems, and literature students could create content for actual organizations. These kinds of assignments would make learning more meaningful and prepare us for future careers. They would also help us build a portfolio that employers can evaluate beyond academic grades.
I completely agree with you. Practical assignments not only improve technical knowledge but also develop important soft skills such as teamwork, creativity, communication, and problem solving. I don't think universities always need to work directly with companies. Professors can design case studies using public data or current social issues like climate change, healthcare, or housing problems. Students would learn how to analyze real situations and suggest practical solutions, making their education much more engaging and valuable.
Both of you have raised excellent points, but I think there are some practical challenges we should also consider. Not every subject has direct industry applications, and designing real-world assignments for every course may not be easy. Another concern is assessment. Practical projects are often more subjective than written exams, which could make grading less consistent. Universities would also need support from industries, and not every company has the time or resources to mentor student projects throughout the semester.
That's true, but I don't think every assignment needs to be industry-based. Even introducing one practical project in each semester would make a significant difference. Students would gain hands-on experience without replacing traditional academic learning. This balanced approach would allow us to strengthen both theoretical understanding and practical skills.
Exactly. Universities could gradually introduce problem-based learning while keeping academic standards high. Teachers could evaluate students through presentations, reports, teamwork, and creative solutions instead of relying only on written examinations. This would better prepare students for workplace expectations and improve their confidence before graduation.
After listening to both of you, I think a balanced approach is definitely the best option. Universities should continue teaching strong theoretical foundations while gradually including practical, industry-related assignments wherever possible. This combination would improve student engagement, develop valuable professional skills, and make graduates better prepared for real-world careers without compromising academic quality.
Three university students are discussing whether joining elite academic groups, such as honor societies and major specific clubs, is truly beneficial during university and for future careers. They share different opinions based on their own experiences and expectations.
I'm not completely convinced that joining elite academic groups is always beneficial. Many students become members simply because these organizations look impressive on their resumes, but they rarely participate in activities. If someone only joins for the certificate or title, I don't think it adds much value to their academic growth or career. Without active involvement, membership becomes just another achievement on paper rather than a meaningful learning experience.
I agree with you to some extent because I've seen similar situations. Some students join these societies because of their reputation, but they never attend meetings or contribute to projects. Employers today look beyond certificates and want to see real achievements and practical experience. However, I do believe these organizations can be valuable for students who actively participate, take responsibility, and contribute to meaningful activities instead of remaining passive members.
Both of you have made good points, but my experience has been quite different. I joined an academic club related to my major, and it helped me in many ways. I met experienced professors and senior students, participated in research projects, and built a professional network. Those experiences improved my confidence and prepared me for future career opportunities. In my opinion, the real benefit comes from active participation rather than simply having the organization's name on your resume.
I completely agree with that. Instead of focusing only on membership, students should make the most of the opportunities available. Taking part in workshops, organizing events, and accepting leadership responsibilities can help develop communication, teamwork, and problem-solving skills. Those practical experiences are much more valuable than simply collecting certificates.
Exactly. Universities should also encourage students to become active members by organizing mentoring programs, networking events, and skill development workshops. This would motivate students to contribute more and gain practical knowledge instead of treating these organizations as resume boosters. Active participation creates long-term benefits for both personal and professional growth.
After listening to both of you, I think we've reached a balanced conclusion. Elite academic groups certainly provide valuable opportunities, but their true value depends on how seriously students participate. Simply becoming a member is not enough. Students who actively engage, build relationships, and contribute to meaningful activities are the ones who gain the greatest academic, professional, and personal benefits from these organizations.
Three university students are discussing how lectures can become more engaging through real-world examples and student interaction. They share different opinions on improving classroom learning while maintaining strong academic standards.
I think university lectures should be much more interactive instead of focusing only on theory. Sometimes professors explain concepts for a long time without giving practical examples, and students gradually lose interest. If lecturers connected topics with current events, real-life situations, or asked open-ended questions during class, students would understand the material much better. Different teaching methods also help students with different learning styles, making lectures more interesting and easier to remember.
I completely agree. From my own experience, I understand lessons much better when teachers explain how theories are used in real life. Activities like think, pair, share discussions, live polls, or short classroom debates encourage everyone to participate without feeling nervous. I also believe inviting guest speakers from different industries or discussing real case studies would help students connect classroom knowledge with practical applications and future careers.
Both of you have made excellent points, and I agree that interaction improves learning. However, we should also remember that theoretical knowledge is still the foundation of higher education, especially in the early stages of the course. In large lecture halls with hundreds of students, it may not always be practical to organize discussions or interactive activities. Time limitations and classroom management can also make these methods difficult to implement regularly.
That's true, but lectures don't need to become completely activity-based. Even adding a few interactive elements during each class could make a significant difference. For example, professors could include a short discussion, a quick online poll, or a practical example after every major topic. These small changes would keep students engaged without reducing academic content.
Exactly. Universities could also provide training for lecturers on modern teaching techniques and educational technology. Digital tools, interactive quizzes, and collaborative activities would encourage students to participate more actively. This approach would improve communication, critical thinking, and confidence while making learning more enjoyable and effective.
After listening to both of you, I think the best solution is to combine traditional teaching with interactive learning. Strong theoretical knowledge should remain the foundation, but practical examples, classroom discussions, and student participation should be included whenever possible. This balanced approach would increase motivation, improve understanding, and better prepare students for real-life situations without compromising academic quality.